Hello, welcome to this episode of Fandom Frenzy with Flash, which is me. I am your host, and in this episode, I continue to lose my over this season of Game of Thrones. At the beginning in the recap, it was like, remember all these people who died? We see Bran for the first time in like 15 years. He looks like he could be insured to drive a Corvette. That's how long it's been. He can like walk through the past now, and Hodor can talk, and it made me really sad because something horrible is implied there. And his name is Willith, and some green lady who's like potentially one of the children of the forest, who we've never seen. Angsty Mira is just like, this is normal, this is fine. Alistair Thorne tries to break down the door of a dead man, and then the wildlings show up and are like, rude, first off. So we get our first but not last head squish of the night. Also, in this scene, I hereby dub the Ollie the Awful. He makes a terrible face and then refuses to lay down arms when literally everybody else does because he doesn't understand social cues. And Jon Snow is now a lovely shade of blue. We hop across to King's Landing, and head number 2 gets squished just right up against the wall, and the moral of this story is don't f with giants. We find out that Tommen feels mournful for mistreating his mother and not murdering the f out of the sparrows, and that he didn't inherit his father's strong chin. Also, I think that this is the first time I've ever seen Jaime and Tommen interact on screen. Then the High Sparrow ambushes Jaime, and he starts admitting all of his sins and like defiance of what happened to Cersei. And the High Sparrow just gets all high horsey, and I'm just like, go ahead, walk through the streets naked, Jaime Lannister, I won't stop you. And could I like possibly hate the sparrows more? Because I do. I hate them. I hate all of them. Then Tommen apologizes to Cersei and basically ensures that he's going to be like Joffrey Jr. in the future. So considering that they completely forgot he existed last episode, his family is really making leaps and bounds this go around. We finally get our across the narrow sea, and something happens that I have been waiting for 4 years. Tyrion Lannister gets to be friends with the dragons. Everyone's like really upset because they aren't eating and they haven't eaten since Dany left. So Tyrion's like, duh, we need to unchain them. They're clearly very unhappy and I'll just be friends with them. So he goes and unchains them, but doesn't feed them. Like, feed the dragons yourself, Tyrion, then you can ride them. I also drink and know things. Also, am I the only person that was like, I know they've been in this pyramid a really long time, but the colors are wrong, like not quite red enough, not quite green enough, or any color other than like sort of brown? Maybe it was the lighting. I'm hoping it's the lighting and that HBO didn't just forget that these dragons are supposed to have their own colors and personalities. Cue Arya getting her ass kicked, scene 2. Now we go back north, which means we aren't going to see Dany in this episode, which isn't unusual because the writers actually hate us. Roose Bolton is bitching at Ramsay Snow about stuff and things, and then Ramsay's like, I'm going to kill Jon Snow. Well, you're a little late for that, Ramsay. Too bad you don't have the internet to spoil it for you. And then the Maester enters, and he's like, oh, happy day, Wald has given birth to a new heir, down with Ramsay! Which is the biggest mistake that man has ever made in his life. My guess is that baby Bolton isn't gonna last very long. Oh look, Roose Bolton's dead. Oh look, I was right. And now we see the Iron Islands for the first time in like a really ambiguously long time, and it's just as miserable as it was last time. Like, here's the thing. I like Asha Greyjoy, and her name's Yara, and I can't ever remember that. So I really like her, and therefore hate Theon's father, like, a lot. And I assume the entirety of the Iron Islands do too, because look at that wet floor. Like, that man clearly isn't very steady on his feet, and they're just asking for an accident to happen. Anyway, I'm super stoked Theon's gonna try to make his way home. He probably won't get there, but whatever. Also, this is an abandoned storyline from a few books ago, and I understand things again. So when I saw Euron Greyjoy, my first reaction was just, oh, that was a pretty dramatic reveal. I just want to lead into this next part with this. I didn't get to watch this right away because it was the last day of the Big O tournament, which is a roller derby tournament, and it's really important. And anyway, Rolling Stone put the biggest Game of Thrones spoiler since the Red Wedding right in the headline on the front page the morning after it aired. And I'm still very, very upset about it, even though I was right about what happened. So enter here my frustration with Davos Seaworth's morality. Like I've said before that I have an issue backing characters that aren't morally ambiguous because I find it hard to believe. And Davos is one of those characters. Like he used to be a smuggler and now he's basically Captain America. So this is the first time I've really seen him blur the lines of morality for the greater good, I guess. So I'm less annoyed by it. Also, it means that we'll possibly get Jon Snow back. So we asked Melisandre to help, and thank the old gods and the new, the Red Witch is alive. So apparently she just really does get old every night. So she does her like religious thing and tries to bring Jon Snow back, which involves like cutting off a lock of his hair. And because of the kind of person that I am, the only thing I could think about was he's never liked a girl as much as he likes his own hair from way back in season 1. And that's when I was like, oh, this is so sad. Much simpler times. Sort of. So it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, and then I told you so. I have a few parting questions before we wrap this up. So until my watch has ended, has it? This was kind of touched on in the After the Thrones, but I'm curious, like now that his watch has technically ended, is he still a man of the Night's Watch? Does that release him from the vow so that he can go on to be king of Westeros? Thanks for tuning into this episode of Fandom Frenzy with Flash. Answer my questions and ask me some in the comments. And if you thought I said some good things, then give us a like and go ahead and share the video with your other Game of Thrones obsessed friends. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel because we'll be putting out these videos every week. That's all I got. Goodbye! Also, Shwade and I had a bit of a conversation about this, and she was like, I just didn't want it to happen that way. I wanted him to be reborn through fire. And I was like a phoenix. And she was like, no, like a Targaryen. And I was like, oh, right, yeah, well, obviously, of course, he is a Targaryen.